Hello everyone, Radiokenny here, putting together a video to kind of show you the anatomy of the x13 combo. Since I got the x13 combo, quite a few people have got a hold of me wanting to know how you did it, what's the setup and the trap and everything, and it's not really that simple of a process. It's something that took a long time to put together and figure out, and it really wasn't just me that did it. It was a combination of styles of play by quite a few different people and tips from different people that kind of helped me put it together, and then I just kind of found the spot in which it could happen in theory, but a few other people had actually some great theories that they proposed to me and put to me and helped me with for me to finally figure out the puzzle and see how to do it, or even to see if it was possible to do, because really no one knew if it was actually possible or if we could get the 13X or the software would even let us show it or recognize it or display it to us if we did it. But over time we figured out that was probably it and it was worth trying to get. Now, how did I get to that? Well, first of all, let's talk about the 12 combo, the X12 combo. Now the X12 combo was being worked on simultaneous by myself and Doc Schmock and Rogatin. Those two guys were working on the tower, and I don't know if it's Rogatin or Rogatin, but I'm going to call him Rogatin because it sounds a lot cooler to me. But anyway, Doc Schmock and Rogatin were working on the tower, and they were trying to get the X12 combo on the tower level when I was trying to get it on gateway. I thought it was a much better percentage to get it on gateway, and I actually had the same basic setup as they had figured out, and I had to leave town for a week or a week and a half, and I really didn't get any playing time, and they ended up solving it quicker than I did. They put their two brains together and beat me to it, but just after that I kind of tweaked my setup just a little bit, and it wasn't much different than theirs. The only thing that was really different was they used kind of this swinging mace that comes down and hits people, and I used the pounder that comes down and pounds from the ceiling. I thought that maybe with a little bit, I didn't have to work on the timing as much. With the mace, you have to kind of get the swing just right and get the timing. I thought that it may be better for the pounder because it's kind of an automatic thing as they're underneath them. So I was trying the gateway and trying to get it on the gateway. But let me show you the basic setup that I have, and this is kind of the same thing Doc Schmock had and Rogatin had been working on. And let's go into the game real quick and kind of show you what that looked like and how I set it up, the X12. So we're going to look at the X12 first, and then from that it really evolved into being the 13 combo. I'm going to do it with some modded onslaught files, and so we can kind of control what's coming out, and I'll have a bunch of money to show you the trap setup. But I did accomplish it first by testing it with an onslaught file, and then when I figured out it was definitely possible, then I actually pulled it off in normal gameplay, and that's a good way to kind of figure things out. Let's get into the game here and let's look at the gateway, and I'll show you my initial setup to get the X12 on gateway that kind of led me into getting the 13 combo. So let's look at it here. Okay, we're inside Gateway now, and for people who are unfamiliar with this map, it's set up where these orcs and different flyers and stuff come out of these three main doors and head to a pathway that bottlenecks down here. And we have ourselves a great area with a ceiling and a couple of walls that we can set up a great kill box. The other thing that I thought was good for the 12X combo was that back here on the side we could hide archers and also maybe get some auto ballistas back here to shoot, and so they wouldn't be shooting them as they come, and it would help somewhat with our timing when we were getting together. So let me go ahead and open the spell book and show you what spells that I used. To get the initial 12X, I used a tar trap, the floor trap, which is the brimstone, elf, pounder, zapper, lightning ring, auto ballista, grinder, and then the floor scorcher is what we used in the setup. And this is kind of close to the same setup as Doc Schmock and Rogatin had when they did it on the tower, except for I used this pounder here instead of the swinging mace that swings back and forth, which is this one right here, the clockwork mace they used. But I went ahead and went for the pounder. I thought it was better for timing. So now let's get some money real quick. I've set it up where one guy runs out here. I haven't. Actually, Rogatin edited this file for me where I'll shoot him in the head. Bam. And then we have about 93,000 coin to work with. And that way I can just show you the setup instead of trying to do it real time on the fly. First of all, a few mistakes that people make on the fly, or I made on the fly rather, trying to do this, is that I would come along here and I would throw down brimstone first. And let's throw down some brimstone. And I would come along here trying to do this. And I noticed that sometimes within the game, I'm trying to get the tar right up next to the brimstone, and it won't push up next to it. And so when you're flying in the game and doing real time, you're trying to boom, 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 throw down traps, and you can't get them next to each other, it's not going to work. You actually have to lay the tar first and get it snug up there. So get yourself even with the wall here. You can see where the wall goes up. Lay down tar, lay down tar, lay down tar, and then come over here in front of the tar, and for some reason it meets up. You can put brimstone, brimstone, brimstone. And so what's going to happen is we want the actual orgs or whoever that it is to follow this line here, come around here, and run over this 1, 2. You got yourself a combo, and you're working in 2 already. Now let's put some grinders on the wall. We want 2 grinders, so when the guy walks across, the org or whatever that is, they get hit by the grinder, they get hit by the brimstone, they get hit by the tar. 1, 2, 3, and now we're making a little bit of progress. The other thing I wanted them to get hit in the head when they were over the last grinder, so I used the pounder. The pounder's here, and that's a good place where I put it to kind of strike him in the end, and a couple zappers. So I really wanted him to travel along this. You don't want the org to stay in this line along here. You want him to actually walk along between 2 traps. That way he's getting zapped by the zapper. He's getting chopped up by the grinder as he goes. And then as he moves along this line, he's also going to get hit by the pounder and this one and the grinder. So he kind of gets a little bit of both of them, because we have to have all the traps hitting to give us our complete 12 or 13 combo, obviously. Now, here are a few variables that we have and got them fixed. Originally, when I started putting down the floor burners, where I was messing up and I didn't get it at first, is I was throwing some floor burners here, and so as an org would run by, it would floor burn them, and then they would go into it, and that was just a horrible idea. So I learned a little bit from the other guys in the tower by putting a floor burner here, here, and here. And I had already done this, but I was doing it here, and I was laying some out here. And you can hit R and rotate, you notice, and rotate these traps to point certain ways. I had burners here and burners there, but it was causing too much damage before they got there. So a row of floor burners, and another row of floor burners back here. And after I got all that down, it looked good, I was moving on to getting the elves right. And the elves actually set on this side. And they set on this side because a couple different reasons. Is I'm trying to get the orc to run through here, and I basically want him to die right here, right on top of this. If he can get smashed and die right here, it's going to be perfect, because I don't want them shooting him too early. If I put him back here in the back and he runs, I've got to get my distance exactly right and timing, and it's not going to work as well. I don't have as much control. So what I do is I come over here and I look around the corner and I say, you know what, this archer, if I put him here, he can't actually shoot that org or frost org or fire org until he's already in vision. He's not shooting down this corridor and hitting him. What I do is, as you see as I run here and I look over there, I'm in the kill zone before I can see these guys. That makes sense? He comes along here, bam, and he's hit. So they're blind to him before he gets in front of the grinders over here. Good way to do it. Get it set up. You can kind of control what time they hit him. Now next, I have the auto ballistas. The auto ballistas are here, and something about the auto ballista is you can also rotate the auto ballista, and I'll put it in front of this wall so you can see. If I hit rotate, see the red coming out to the right, it's going to shoot right, it's going to shoot at me, it's going to shoot left, it's going to shoot forward, okay? Not towards me, but away from me. So right, to me, left, away from me. I want them to shoot the orc right in the side of the head when he gets there. I don't want him pointing down this way. I actually want him pointing this way towards the grinder. So I have him turned here. So So make sure it's right and it's turned at me. And you can lay 4 here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And that's pretty much the setup that I have. The other thing that you have to add is you have to have weavers. So as you're moving along, to get this, you have to have the steel weaver. You have to buy the steel weaver. You have to get the death augmenter, guardian armor, burning pitch. You get the burning pitch because this now gives flaming arrows to the elves, and then the elves count for 2 on the combo instead of 1. Oiled traps, overcoiled springs, jagged steel. Jagged steel gives 2 combo when the auto ballistas on the ceiling. So we got 2, and we got 2 added into the mix. So if we have 2, 2, bam, we're good to go. Now we reach our X12, aren't we? So with all of these added up together, and then we have 2 here on these and 2 on the elves, and we know we have the double combo. What we do is we stand back here, we have our lightning ring, and when that orc runs down here, and he's coming and comes right along this line, and he's standing on this brimstone right here, at this point, he'll stand here, I'll stand here, and I'll right click, boom, that's lightning as you see, and then switch to crossbow, and I shoot him in the legs. Bam, 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 as fast as I can. And so that's what's going to happen. And then you'll get the 12. You'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the ring, and 10 me shooting him in the head. And then you got the floor scorchers back here, your tar and your brimstone are counting. So we are getting 12x combo if you add all of that up and take it into consideration. Okay, now let's just see one pulled off. I'm going to get a video, show you a video of an orc coming down here and getting killed and me getting the X12. So that's kind of the way that we did it.